Most artists, especially beginner artists, really struggle with not liking the drawings that they make, which is a real problem because the more you associate negative feelings with the drawing practice, the harder it becomes to sit down and draw. It's no coincidence that a lot of the things that are addictive in our lives are very pleasurable for the body. Eating junk food being the number one example. We know that junk food doesn't feel good long term, but in that moment it feels good, so we keep going back to it because we've trained our body to remember that, like, oh, this feels good, let's go for that. The same thing happens with drawing. You can make your drawing practice feel more enjoyable to the point where you get addicted to it. But the problem is that for most artists, they really struggle with their creative voice. They really struggle with their technical abilities. So every time they do a drawing, they have this negative feeling. They spiral out of control into this negative pit. And then your body learns that, like, oh my God, this is such a painful experience. Let's not do this anymore. And for a lot of you, if you are a beginner artist watching this, you might assume that the only problem is that you don't have good drawing skills yet. If it was a master draftsman, right? If I had perfect technical ability, I would enjoy my drawing so much more because I could just let my ideas flow onto the page and it would be perfect and I would feel great about my drawings. So the real problem is technical ability. A lot of artists assume this, and I don't think this is true. I've gotten a lot of emails from beginner artists where, as I'm reading it, I'm like, you sound exactly like a lot of advanced artists. There's so many advanced artists who will talk about their art as in not liking it, feeling the need to like improve more, really struggling with it. And I think this isn't a matter of technical skill. It's not about a level of experience. I think it's about perspective. I used to believe that I just needed to get better to enjoy my drawings. I said, if I get to a certain level, then I'll start enjoying the drawings. All these master artists, obviously they like their drawings. They're so beautiful, right? Like, that was the assumption that I was making. But this all shifted when I had this one experience. For a long period of time, I used to use other artists' beautiful works as my phone wallpaper. I'm sure a lot of you guys do this. You find something beautiful on Pinterest, you save it, make it your phone wallpaper, and you get inspired by it. I used to do this all the time, and then eventually I decided that maybe I should just make my own art my phone wallpaper, just so that I could look at it and look at ways that I could improve it, so that I could just have that hint of like, what could I change for the next piece? That was the mentality, so I changed my phone wallpaper to my own piece. While I was out for a walk on that same day that I changed my phone wallpaper to my own piece, I pulled out my phone to change my song, and I saw my own piece, but I didn't remember that I was the one that made it. I'd forgotten that I made it. And in that moment, for a split second, or maybe like 2 seconds, I really liked the piece. This piece that I had struggled with, I didn't like it before, but in that moment, I really enjoyed it because I had forgotten that I made it. I think this is the main reason that most artists don't like their work. They remember that they made it. The problem is that your art, you have associated memories of you making it with the piece, therefore you judge it differently than other people's work. When you see other artists online, you don't remember the hardship that goes into it. You don't know the struggles that went into the piece, and you don't associate your own negative feelings with your own art practice with that piece because it's someone else's, and then it makes it so much easier to enjoy it. I think the real reason most artists don't like their own work is because they made it. After that moment, I realized that it was a perspective problem. If I could enjoy the piece, if someone else made it, if I forgot that I made it, that means that it is beautiful enough in itself. So you ask yourself this, pull up your last drawing, pull up your sketchbook and just look at it. Now imagine that your friend passed you the sketchbook or whatever drawing or illustration that you've done recently. Imagine your friend passed you this piece and was like, hey, what do you think about this? Imagine if you saw the piece, your own drawings from that perspective, that it's your friend's work. Would you enjoy it then? Because I think for a lot of you, you would. I think a lot of you would find so much more beauty in it if you didn't have a personal association, if you didn't attach your own self-worth to the drawings. Ultimately, this comes down to your expectations, and a lot of you struggle with perfectionism, and if you are someone who struggles with perfectionism, check out the free lesson that will be linked below. The perfectionistic tendency is that you have these high expectations for what you should be doing, even though you don't expect that from anyone else. Like, you have these unrealistic expectations because you have this low sense of self-worth that you're trying to overcome by achieving great things, and that can really get in the way of enjoying the drawings that you make, and it's not a technical problem. Improving your art technically is not going to solve that. But one thing that can help is finding clarity in your creative voice. I think this helped me a ton. After that moment when I realized it was a perspective problem, I realized that, hey, I'm not really making the art that I really truly like. And the reason why I like my art a lot more now is that I have a lot of clarity on the things that I'm inspired by. So one thing that I would recommend you do is that for the next piece that you do, try to clarify the things that you actually like in other artists. Go look at your inspiration folders and try to narrow down for this one piece what you are going to focus on. The more narrow you get on the things that you really, really want to make for yourself, the easier all of drawing becomes. You'll find more things that you love about it. For example, for me, I really like drawing branches, roots, and flowers. And finding the clarity of that and knowing how I want to approach that makes it so much easier for me to appreciate the beauty in my own pieces, because I know that, hey, I really, really love this. When I see this in other people's work, I really like this. So I'm going to make sure that I apply that to my own pieces. On top of finding clarity in my creative voice, one thing that has helped me a ton is treating my art as if it belongs to the world. I'm surrendering control of the art. I don't treat it as if it's my own. It just belongs to the realm of art as a whole. This way, you don't feel so attached to it. Letting go of some of that attachment and surrendering control over it can give you so much freedom, and it'll make it so much easier for you to be excited by all the drawings that you make. I'm always surprised by the drawings that come out of me, because I really look at the drawings and I treat them as if it's just appearing on the page. I'm not in control of it. Obviously, I have some input in what I'm drawing, but ultimately, I just treat it as if it's this magical experience and I get to be the conduit of this creative energy. And having that kind of surrender makes it so much easier to enjoy the drawing, because it's not a personal reflection necessarily, right? I don't have to clench onto it so tightly. I don't have to cling on to the value of the art. I can just enjoy it for the beauty that it is. And this kind of surrender makes it so much easier to learn how to draw and to improve your drawings and enjoy your drawings. If it's an exploration of these creative energies that are not belonging to you, right? It's this undercurrent of creative energy that you're tapping into. It makes it so much less personal in the negative sense. It's personal in the way that it matches your creative taste. Obviously, it's like your creative voice in some ways, but it's also not a reflection of your self-worth. And if you can just surrender that control, it makes it so much easier to like draw more and enjoy all of the practice. If you are an artist that struggles with your expectations and your creative voice and you want to find more clarity around that, check out the Inner Artist course that's included in the Absolutely Everything bundle that will be linked below. And also, if you want to lean into this type of surrender, one thing that I would recommend you check out is a mindful drawing course, also included in the Absolutely Everything bundle, where we go into intuitive drawing. And once I learned intuitive drawing, that helped me a ton, especially in terms of perfectionism. Learning how to just follow your intuition makes it so much easier just to surrender control, and that makes it more exciting, because what will happen is things will appear on the page that you weren't planning for, and they'll be exciting. It'll be an adventure. It'll be like you're discovering something new, and as you put lines down, you're like discovering parts of yourself, and that process is so exciting. I wish I had learned intuitive drawing when I first started drawing. Obviously, doing drawing exercises is helpful, like the beginner's toolkit, that kind of stuff is obviously very helpful in terms of technical ability, but I do think that you want to combine that technical ability, portrait drawing, figure drawing, beginner's toolkit stuff with the intuitive drawing, inner artist stuff, because the combination of the two is ultimately what makes things super, super fun, especially if you are someone who struggles with not liking your art. Yes, technical ability will help you somewhat, but I do think ultimately it's about finding your voice, surrendering control, and actually just leaning into the joy of it. So if you want help with that, check out the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.